All right, and we're back. This is Mike Lorrain at the Northwest Pinball and Arcade Show 2012, and I am standing here with Rich Lint, the owner of This Old Game. And Rich is actually doing a seminar today from 6 to 7 p.m. Rich, tell me what your seminar is going to be about.
We're going to apply some side art on a Donkey Kong arcade machine, so how to apply side art.
And you know what? Rich actually does all kinds of screen graphic printing, and he has a booth here where you can get t-shirts and all kinds of other collectibles. I can tell you honestly that I think his t-shirts are terrific. I've just bought 3 of them, and I bought some last year, and they're really good quality shirts, and he does amazing arcade graphic printing. I mean, do you care to just share with people out there how you got into this?
Totally by accident. I mean, it wasn't, I was doing screen printing graphics. Actually, I was already doing screen printing graphics for our architectural firm. And I bought my first arcade machine, and I basically noticed that a lot of the stuff that I was doing for architectural graphics was done right there on the panels. The Space Invaders, the control panel was just hammered, the graphics were all deteriorated off of it, and it was screened directly on the metal. And that was one of the things we did at the shop that I worked at. So I just made new panels, mainly just for myself. I didn't know, that there were other people that would want a panel. I did a couple of extras and threw them up on eBay, and I got flooded with emails about where can I buy more of these. And I've been doing them ever since. It's probably about 15 years ago, and I've been pretty much doing them ever since.
Now, are there different levels of difficulty surrounding when you try to tackle reproducing some art for a particular arcade?
Yeah. Depending on the era when the game was made, a lot of the earlier stuff is very simple, and it was just straightforward screen printing, so it's very easy to scan and vector and prep it again to reprint it. Later, as things kind of progressed, things got a little more complicated, and it's harder to kind of reverse engineer that artwork to get it back to an original state, to print it forward again, if you're trying to do it in the same process via screen printing. So it gets a little more harder depending on the type of artwork it is.
I also think it must be challenging just to learn how to work with inks. I've just learned as a graphic artist myself, is just that what looks one thing on the computer screen doesn't necessarily print the same way.
That's true. There are different inks for different types of material. And matching the colors is, not just, clicking and changing a palette color. You're physically having to mix different base inks together to get the right color that you need when you're trying to rematch. It's, a completely different process doing it old school like that.
And collectors like me are very picky. I mean, if you're going to get some restoration art, you want it to look exactly like it did back then.
And and that's the biggest thing. And I mean, I try and reproduce it as close as I can to the original, using the original process. Sometimes it's not possible, just due to the complexity of it, and you have to go with other means like digital, digital printing, or the demand just isn't there to warrant screen printing, a few panels to, for just a few, for a few pieces. So there is a cost factor. You got to kind of, weigh into that to see what's the best option for both.
Now, tell me again, what is your website?
The website is thisoldgame.com, and pretty much everything that I sell and make is on the website, and I do all my own printing. I don't, so everything that I have, I make, it's on the website.
Now, is there anything you're working on that you would care to share with viewers that is, quote, coming soon?
The coming soon stuff, I'm doing a lot of artwork, reproductions for the environmental disc of Tron and the Star Wars cockpit are probably the 2 biggest pieces. And the Star Wars cockpit is being done screen printed from the original Atari films. And that's probably the biggest one. So
that's something to check out then if you're interested in that. Okay, thank you.
Cool, thank you.
Appreciate it. We'll be back later.